Okay, that works. So let's add 2 sliders for those things. Oh, 100 pixels, that's too much. What is this 83 doing here? Is that not the width? Yeah, it should go also be positive. Cannot be 0, I think. It just started from 1.0 as well, and then also from 0. I don't know. Initially, I could give it the same values, I guess. Let's see what that ends up. I don't know where the 83 went to. This is 100 pixels. To the middle of that seems better. 50. This one is... Why is S trackable? Oh, it's just... Of course it's trackable. So it goes from... Yeah, 0.1 to 4 now. Let me just put it Okay, I can put V there. And then this more at 9.7. V can be negative though. What am I doing? Eventually, I'm overriding this anyway. So, but let's fill in something sensible. Minus 2.0 to 2.0. Yeah, it's better. Why is this? Oh yeah, of course. 0 is now in the middle. From -2 to +2. And then I have to change them after calculating the values here. So you could say slider s dot set value or something. Now I have to implement set value. No, this is slider. Oh, I only have plot. Slider. Do you make a void set value? Not const. I don't have a slider yet. Nope. Right, so we have the setting of value that is larger than the minimum maximum value. That I'm adjusting those, I think. And we have to adjust those in both. I probably have to add a set value as well to the draw object. Okay, let's update these things. So min value is standard the minimum of min value and value and max value. Standard a max of max value and value. Why the hell do those things not get a color? No. And then I should call on the draw object. It's just draw object. Set value. And then I would have to repeat what we just did, which is, yeah, nah. Let's not do that. I'm just going to pass it in the same way here. Min, max, oh, I never pass them all. Yep. Okay, there. First value and then the min max. So just passing these values which you just calculated, if they changed at all. So then the draw slider needs to have a set value as well, but that one gets 3 values. Not sure if this works. I think I can just do it here. Just set everything. Why is this called a rel value? Oh, because it was calculated from the start value. So our rel value is this. doesn't matter, but still. And then, yeah, I'm not redrawing anything. The value text would change, of course. But so might have the position. Basically, a whole redraw is necessary. But this should only be called when we are going to redraw it anyway. So I think that is already working then. I doubt that. Totally not working. Or maybe just this one time? No. I mean, W is 1, SW is this, so S equals 0.15. But S is still at 1, so I did not update the drawing. If I now click it, maybe drag it 1 pixel. Damn it, just nothing? Okay, that's weird. That is absolutely weird. I think the only way to redraw it is by destroying this thing and then replace it with another one. And when would that happen? Here's the first creation. It would happen after I moved. Yeah. Or not. Well, it's a slider handle, of course. So I need this function to be called. Well, it is called if I drag it. Oh, by the time this function is, so the redraw happens basically here. And here, and here, and here. Well, this is the actual redraw. And by the time this function is called, the value is again changed. Set to new position, where it comes from the mouse coordinates. Therefore, I need to trigger a redraw after set value is called. Can't wait for this one, because that immediately adjusts the slider back to where the mouse points. Now a redraw is part of the moved. I think the orientation is only used to calculate the rel value. And then the redraw starts here. Yes. And this is the draw slider, so we have to split this function into two functions. Probably already have a redraw. Before I picked the wrong name. No, it's the first redraw. Well, okay. So at the bottom I'm going to call this function. And we have track, we have handle, we have this. Highlight track. Also this set value, value text. It's just all members. Don't need to pass anything. Let's add this below moved or something. So it must be a public function though. I want to trigger the redraw from the Z. Oh no, it can be private. Wait, that's not true. From set value, I don't have a set value. I just added set value here. So yeah, just private. Something private that is not a construct set value, just whatever. And then also have to call that from here after changing those values. And then I can remove this adjust values. And redraw. Yeah. Oh, it's much better. So V is minus 19, which it was way out of the. I think the minimum value was -2. So now, if I don't change Q and I don't change W, then these values stay the same. So I can just adjust the slider or not. No, it doesn't work. What the hell? No, it's suddenly not draggable anymore. Huh? It's 21. That seems to work. Did it do automatically adjust now? If it track this as well, I guess. Yep. But so V is really like ping crash even. Hey, dog man. Yeah, some division by 0 happened. If you make SW0, can't calculate S then. Interesting though. Not if W should never be 0. Oh, that's why. Yeah, if we put this point Q, this distance is S times W. W should not be negative. Or 0, I mean. So it's kind of taboo to put Q at the same place as P1. I don't want to crash, of course. It should be possible to move it to the other side. I can do this. If this becomes 0, then V just becomes a half. It's no problem. But this side, you get a crash. First, however, I want to know why I can't drag these things up. Well, let's see if I can drag, if it is dragging at all. I think I can detect that. So we click here, for example, then there's nothing under it to drag. So then you see that it says mouse down somewhere. Button 1 was pressed. But there's nothing under it. So if I move my mouse, then nothing happens at all because it didn't grab anything. Now click on this. Also nothing happened. So it didn't even grab anything. So it thinks there's nothing under it. What do we see called? Grab point. Grab point. What is the thing still called grab point? It's not a point anymore, this. This is so pointy. Specifically says the point uses shape position at corner, and I'm trying to drag a handle. In cases like this, it really helps if you have a perfect memory, because I wrote all the code. And I can just remember the time and moment that I wrote this and what I was thinking and what it is related to. If you can all do that, then you are a very good coder, because, well, I can't remember it. And then what happens is I'm just looking dumb at the screen. Okay. I have learned to work with code written by other people. This is kind of how I have to treat my own code now. If it was written by someone else, and I would want to know who is calling this. So we can set a breakpoint at window grab point and see how the hell we get there in the first place. Blink, blink. Can't find it. What about cairo window? Cairo in a window. Now it finds it. Oh, that was not hard, was it? Continue. Thank God it didn't grab the mouse yet. Backtrace. Handle dragging. We're being called with the mouse coordinates because of a button press. Yeah, it's just the wrong name. It should be draggable now. Let me just rename it so we have gotten rid of that problem. I started with supporting points, and then later I made a draggable class, and now point is derived from draggable and something else as well, but that's not purely points anymore. So instead of grabbing a point, I should be grabbing a draggable. And we still talk about grabbed point. It's also not correct. And I have clickable here. You could say that maybe I make a button, and the button is clickable but not draggable. So then maybe clickable is the better word. It's a bit messy. Hey, Abhimanyu and Devon. Yep, renamed that one. So let's rename these as well. Grab point should be grab draggable. So at button press we call grab draggable, which brings us here. It apparently does not find our redrawn moved handle. Why not? I guess that the clickable rectangles were not updated. Wasn't updated. Update grabbed. I should call that. Yep. Update grab must be called, otherwise we can't find it back. That is called with the grabbed point index and the mouse coordinates on the window. To somehow have the index at the point that we call set value. I don't think so. So probably my draggable has to remember its own index. I have a clickable index here. Now the draggable knows its index, and that means that we can at least call update grabbed, because now I know the index, and I have, if I have at least those as well, plus I need to know the window. So update grab must be called in from the thing that we just changed. I don't know what it was. Git diff. More changes have been made. Set value there. Yeah. Don't have an XY coordinate. Maybe the draw object knows it. Should have done a commit before. Is it set value? I think so. So that would be, yeah, tor slider.h. Let's call it here. Oh. Yeah, I need a mouse. Okay, so you need these values. Mouse X. What? Int mouse X and int. I don't know how to get those yet, but we need them. And then I need a window. Also horrible. And then I can go update grabbed, which I can now pause. Not from here. Nope. Or you can pass it from the caller here. Clickable index. We can call update grabbed, which takes an plot update grabbed. What the hell? Plot needs to be called as well. Oh, it is being called from here. Okay. Yeah, I just need to call this one. So you need to pass an index and then the mouse coordinates. The index comes from there, and the mouse coordinates come from who knows. And then it should work. So someone is calling set value. I think that was from the other set value. Can't find tag pattern. Added that index to this slider, plot slider. Or we didn't. Where the hell did I add that index then? Oh, to draggable. Right. Oh. Oh. Yeah, no, of course. Yeah. Which is actually, this thing is not draggable. The handle is draggable. Okay. I have access to the handle here. So the handle is a slider handle, which is derived from. No, it's not. The slider. This slider is derived from draggable. Dude, who wrote this? Really? And that's the function that I'm in. Draggable has the new index. Okay, so this class has index now, and that's what I'm in. Just fucking right there, index. Don't have to pause it. Oh, I still have to get a window as well. I can get a window from, I think I did that before even. Or not. Nope. Not here, maybe here. Didn't, well. How do I get a window? Window pointer. Window is something. Let's see. I can get the window from a layer. And we get a layer from any layer region, I think. Let's just pick the track. Shall I use the same thing, the handle? Just using the handle anyway. So the slider handle is derived from shape, which is derived from layer region, which is having a layer. So I can get my layer by calling a layer on the handle. thought I was using the handle. Yeah. I can get the window from the layer. Methinks the layer had is a window. Yeah. Well, that must be this one. And this window is just defined in Cairo window. The namespace Cairo window. And here we are in draw. There might exist a no, there isn't. There's just one window. I think that works. Right, so then next we have to get mouse coordinates. It's not really mouse coordinates, to make it easy. It's the center of the handle, isn't it? Yeah, because it's going to move. If I do update grep, what the hell is happening then? That gets a plot, gets the new rectangle. The new rectangle is then stored. The new rectangle is the rectangle that you have to click inside of, instead of grabbing it again. So they must be applying to the handle of the slider. And we get that by the call to update grabbed of the plot with the same arguments being passed plus a batch. So actually this one. Our draggable does not want to convert. So whatever coordinates we pass are being passed to moved. Looks like restrictions. Regular restrictions of the slider. Might already keep the y coordinate equal. See what the moved function is doing. Slider moved to new position. Only looks at the x position. For the horizontal one. For the y. It looks at the y coordinate only. But I don't want I'll have to pass both coordinates anyway. I think I have to get the current coordinates and then adjust them. And they are, well, mouse coordinates. I would rather call them pixel coordinates. and we can get that from the handle, I bet. So my slider handle is derived from shape. Yeah, the thing shape has a geometry. That is a rectangle, so let's start with getting that. And under setting, how's that geometry defined? I hope it's defined such that the offset is equal to the center of the handle. But I guess that depends on the shape. So let's jump to the shape, see how that handles it. I need the do draw then. Oh, the handle is just an ellipse. Which draws how? It draws around 0, 0. Depends on the position. I need to know the style position of my handle. At corner. Yeah, that corner. So the geometry is this this thing. The offset is where it says that it is, and that means that the offset x and offset y are actually the center of the circle or the ellipse. But it's a bit hidden, and it's not what I would call a robust this way. That then must hold for everything that I make draggable. Otherwise it's not going to work, is it? Horrible code. It's definitely what it is. But I don't want to spend like a month extra just to make it robust. Really, I want to go back to machine learning. Anyway, so the x coordinate then is geometry offset x and geometry offset y. At least that's what they were. Yeah. We did update a val value already, so I could use one of these functions, which gives me the distance, horizontal or vertical, from the offset to the center. So yeah, then at that point I only need to know what the orientation is, Who knows the orientation? Well, that would be not us, of course. No, of course not. Orientation is known by the slider track, I think. Yep, orientation. Or I can just call it. Which is a Boolean. Okay, yeah. It's also slider track has that. Horizontal and vertical. So I need to call orientation on the slider track. Equals pick one, slider track horizontal. This thing was called track. Okay, so if there's a horizontal thing, the mouse must be, I think, just updated with not the geometry of the handle, but the X offset. Yeah, maybe I should have gotten the geometry of the outside thing, not of the handle. I'm recalculating it here. Calculating it anyway. So no, I want to get the geometry of the outside thing, which is the track. So the slider track should have a geometry, please. Nope, doesn't. Oh, but it does have it. I can just call it directly. That would be that point. That's good, I think. Yeah, that's how I should be calculating it in the first place. I hope. I think. I'm not sure. Probably. I think so. So, Andorido sets it. I'm going to initialize these things with not with this geometry, but with a call to offset X of the track. And then if the track orientation is horizontal, we can add that, I think. Else the mouse coordinate plus equals this, and if not, then you know it's a matter of changing the plus in the minus or something like that. We will see. This is as far as I go. Let's check it. Totally does not. So up web grab is a private memory. Seriously? Declared private here. It's so private you don't know. Is it being called by probably by handle dragging. Yeah. Later is not defined, so we have to just move the whole thing to the .cxx file. Seems kind of logical. Slider. Just put it here. Redraw is called afterwards, but I'll put it here anyway. Slider. Often it's kind of, you know, this is a dubious case. Usually I like to put the definitions of functions in the order in which they are chronologically called. However, if some function is called by, you know, this function is calling that function, then I prefer that this one was already defined. Which then obviously destroys or violates my previous rule, because this function is called first, and then that calls this one. So yeah, Nothing in coding is set in stone. What is the word? Expression. It's one of the problems of coding, I think. You can do the same thing in many ways. Too many ways sometimes. I put it here, and now that should solve the problem, no? Assuming I have layer header included there, but we will see. Probably not, or what is it? Index, use of undeclared identifier index. And I work so hard to figure out that. Oh wait, yeah, it was not here, it was in the other one, in the draw object. Especially with C++. One of the worst things of C++, yes. I mean, I'm even the whole. I think that's maybe why Python is also nicer. You're forced to do the indentation correctly, I think. Even ODAD. Well, in C. C was developed for monitors. Well, how big was the monitor that I started to work on? 24 lines by 40 characters. It's 40. Wait a minute. Why is it not showing that while I'm still dragging? So irritating. 18, 20, 21, 22, 44. Yeah, something like that, plus a status line. Can you imagine that you have to work in this window? That's the whole monitor. And you get only one monitor? So yeah, when those guys designed that, maybe they even had a smaller monitor than this. Well, although I think this is the minimum that we have had for a long time. So of course they only use single letter characters for everything. And they said, let's use a semicolon at the end of every statement, so we can immediately continue with something else, and then do something else. Because if you don't use your space, you hardly have any code at all on your screen, which is makes it only harder to program. You want to see as much code as possible. But that was C. And then C++ came along, and they said, yeah, but that must compile because backwards compatibility with C and stuff. but it's not a good thing. Now with monitors as big as we have, I think it should be more clear, you know, that you just have to use a certain white space thing. It's super irritating that you can do whatever you want in terms of white space, and that's just one of the things. Why am I not running this? It compiled. It did compile, didn't it? It compiled. I don't even know what I changed anymore. GDB, I don't want to do that. Arg. Oh, what? Bleep, bleep, point. Oh, well, almost. We can now grab it. I just can't move it. Tips back. And this still works. Oh, maybe that's why. Oh, of course. Yeah. No, they are calculated from the value of Q and W. So I think I kind of fixed it then. They are now grabbable and movable, but after I dragged it, it's jumping back to the correct value. So the whole idea is now that if I change S, then I have to adjust W. Or maybe V, I don't know. No, W. I don't want to rotate Q actually. You know, if you start dragging this and then Q is being rotated, that's probably annoying. But maybe we have to, because if I change S, then this length changes. So if I change S, no, I could change V such that this length stays constant, and then change W in order to keep that constant. So yeah, that's probably what you want to do. You know, just keep this length here constant. So I can change W, which then, yeah, I do the same thing here. If I do this, I keep this constant, so that gives me S then, and then that gives us V, keeping that constant. But if I drag S, I should do something else. So I need to know which was dragged last. Let's see how that works. So if I drag V is now at -12, and it did print it. I'm not even printing V, I'm just printing this. No, I should print V. What? I'm not printing V. Let's begin with that. Let's print S first. Keep some order in the unordered stuff. Blah. Okay, it says here V is -41.7. That's also what is printed, more or less. Well, not really. It says -41.88. What? Don't tell me that is... totally stuck on minus 40. Yeah, see. Minus 41.7. Can't even change it. And that is because it is stuck on minus 41.88. What the hell is it not printing minus 41.9 here? Huh, what the? Same thing here. Something is off. Something is not calculating these values correctly. Well, these must be correct, I would say. Yeah, I mean, these must be correct. Really. I mean, the definition is like literally this distance here. And W is like not even used. I just set it. So let's say I'm setting it to 1 here. Precise as I can. Can't very precise though. Pixel precise. And then these two are more or less the same, of course. 0.33 something, maybe 3.4. Wow, 3.42. No way. So I'm going to say that this value is wrong. What is being printed here? At the top. No, try it again. Now W is 1. Let's not touch that. So S equals this length. And if I set it here, it's the square root of 2. Sorry, square root of half. And then it says 0.711. No. Must be 0.707. I mean, and now B doesn't know that it should be the square root of half. Because I put it exactly in the middle. This length is 1. These two are the same length. So this is the square root of half. That value is wrong. Why? Why? Where do we look even, you know? I have no overview. Something with slider, which you don't have here. Oh, well, wait, that was in plot. Plot has a slider. We call the user calls set value on it. I'll be damned if it doesn't pass the square root of a half there. Definitely. I'm just going to assume that. Let's waste 2 hours because that was wrong. You know? It's just passing square root of a half. Pressing F8 if I can find it. There it is. Which then doesn't change these because it's already in the middle. And then it calls it on the draw object, which is draw slider. Set value, and just click on set value. Bling, bling, then we get here. And then we calculate the relative value from value minus mean value divided by, that's correct. And then we calculate it back from there. Are we not? I don't know. This is about the value at the top, right? Layer window, mouse coordinates. Oh, but those are rounded off. Oh, mouse coordinates are rounded off. It's a pixel position. That's what is happening. It kind of sucks, doesn't it? This is still a double. This is a double. Let's keep double here for now. Now we add the horizontal position pixels, which is also pretty damn accurate in as double, provided rel value is very precise, and it is because that we pass. This is exact, I think, in double. And then we pass that to update grabbed, which takes ints. That sucks. Yeah, nothing you can do about it. I mean, I really don't want to change this into double. And then moves it into doubles again. So I make it doubles. So then the slider is at a fraction of a pixel, but you don't see it because it's of course draw. Oh, wait a minute. We can't draw at fractions. It's just using anti-aliasing. Why would I use... I mean, the mouse, like literally the mouse, gives me integer mouse coordinates. But if I position the thing, then we can have double coordinates, no problem. So if I'm calling update grabbed here, then it's not necessarily coming from a mouse anymore. So it's not necessarily an int. New position, this is a double. Moved. Yeah, it stays a double because it just is a point. Convert, I think the rest is double. So it's probably going to work if we just forget that this is a mouse and say double X, but I have to remember that there are pixels somehow. I know it's pixel X, double pixel Y. Don't forget that, and then have to change all those X's into pixel X's. Yeah, okay, I'm just doing it. Substitute the first X with pixel X. And here as well, but then for the Y, substitute Y with pixel Y. But there's another Y here. Pixel Y. And after conversion, it's no longer pixels. Okay, you didn't see me do that. Okay, I'm happy with this. So let's change plot up. Update grabbed to take a double. And then that is sometimes called with ints, but it will work fine. Here's another update grabbed that takes X. Is that where we came from? And I have to change that as well. I think dish is set value. Yeah, so we call update grabbed on the window already. Must already be double send. I guess this is the point where it is actually being called. Double, 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 pixel, pixel, mouse. Let me change this as well. Yeah, so this is where it's being called with integers, but no, yeah, just the mouse coordinates, and we can of course pass those to doubles. Then now it should work. So we do the same trick. I'm going to set. What was the trick? Leave that as 1 and set this to 2. Exactly in the middle. Now we have square root of a half here, and yes, 0.707. Now it is correct, and also this one minus 0.207. Okay, having fixed that, we still haven't fixed this problem. Jumps back. So we need to detect which slider was changed last. And I think the only way to do that is by remembering the old values. CD tests CVI. It's not what I want, I think. I want to pretend that W changed so that these are forced. even though they also changed. But I'm even leaving, no, I'm not leaving them undefined, but only maybe, you know, like compiler errors, compiler warnings. So this sets them to 0. It's a default construction of a double. Hello, yeah. So that's defined as setting it to 0. But instead of setting it to 0, I'm using those braces, which to me means I don't really care what the value is, but leaving them undefined is undesirable. I expect it to maybe not see that I'm going to give them a value, and then it's going to complain that I'm using undefined value. So, okay, shut up. The shut up braces. And this then we set to some value that's definitely different from what we're going to read here. So at this point I can already say if W is unequal the previous W, and that's going to be the case the first time, then we do this calculation. But yeah, maybe not yet, because we require the length of those vectors. So down here, I guess. So now we're going to define these and or let's begin with setting them to whatever we read from the slider. So we have a slider S, get value. And then I say if W changed, and I think I can even compare doubles here, because this is guaranteed to be false if W was last assigned from previous W. And it isn't, but previous W was assigned from a calculation where we use the exact same values. If you don't touch a slider, then it's going to return the exact same value. It's kind of guaranteed, you know, if you do the same, if you do certain calculation. Sorry. If you repeat the exact same calculation with the exact same input values, then it's not allowed to have a round-off errors that are different from the last time. Guaranteed by the standard. So this should be safe. And I'm just going to set override S and V, whatever the values were, if W is different. So this is then what we do the first time. But if then afterwards, yeah, and then of course I have to set the previous W equal to W. So the next time, so let's say, well, the next time if I don't change W, if I change this slider, this is not going to be true. So we're going to test the next one, and then I'm assuming I can only change one slider. Doesn't really matter which I test first, but let's test S first. So if S is unequal previous S, oh, that's always going to be the case because I didn't set previous S. So we have to do that here as well. They still have to be initialized. So that we this S then, which I realize is not guaranteed to be returned here. Or is it? I'm going to call set value s, and then the question is, if I call set value, is that then the exact same value, the exact same double is returned if I call get value? Nope. It's not, because we go through rel value. So there are round off errors here. Guess, and what I have to do is do this before we set the previous values. It kind of sucks. Okay, so in this case I'm gonna assume that S is changed, and now we have to calculate W from that. And now we have W and S, so we can still calculate V in the same way. And then else, no. It should work. I don't know why I test this, but not guaranteed that it changed. Yeah, I'm just not defining them here, I think. Two by Y. Let's move this here. Just declare them. Okay, V changed, then I'll have to calculate S first. And then we have S, so we can calculate W the same way. And S can be calculated from that value. This is S squared times. So I have to divide it by 1 minus 2V. And then that is S squared. So I'll only take the square root for that. Then you have S, so we can calculate W. Yep. And then, if the sliders did not change, I still have to define S and V. Okay. Just give me some time to think. I'm not thinking, I'm typing. Oh, that's already the case then. You have slider not changed, so you never got there. That means that W is equal to previous W and so on. So everything is equal to the previous value. Which means that W, S, and V are defined, but they're not because I never defined them. What am I doing wrong? Definitely should have used the slider values here. Have to move this back. But, just not working, is it? Of course it is working. Having a W here. This is slider value. Why am I even doing this up here? Let's move that down as well. Still buying time to think. Value? What is it called, value? Oh. This is what I want. Namely, now we have the previous value set to the current values. so that then if you don't touch the slider anymore, it's going to read the exact same values here, and then they are going to be exactly the same. However, after I change it, I'm only changing S and V. So we have to do this after doing set values. Where do I set values? Set value. Oh, deleted that. I could do that here, I guess. Or I can just do it here, because less code and stuff. And it only happens when you change the value. Might as well set one slider extra. So keep doing that. Not sure it's very stable though. Replace S, replace V. This would not be stable if there's a round off problem between set value and get value of a value. So yeah, on the other hand, it's not even doing that anymore. Doesn't really matter. So we say W starts with the value 1. And therefore we get here and we assign S and V, which means that I have to set the values of S and V, obviously, but now I'm also calling Z set value on W with the value 1. Now suppose the round off error of the whole thing is so bad that it ends up as 0.999 instead, then the previous value is set to 0.999. And then we read it out again, 0.999, and then it's not changed. So it would still be stable. It would only be off with an extra round off error step. I set it once and I read it once here. But I'm reading it anyway. This is my W value. So if at first I read 1 and then I use set 1 and that then becomes something else, then I guess that is acceptable, because it's not going to be more than 1/1,000,000th or 1/1000,000th even off. And yeah, as long as it doesn't keep drifting or something like that. And it can't do that like this, because we read it out. I'm setting it to the value. I'm setting the previous values to the same call that we use here. So yeah, this has to work. Right, so this changes stuff as before. And now I'm going to shift this one. Oh, that seems to work. So this has an influence on the other two, but I can actually drag it. And I think the min and max are just continuously moving now. W is between pretty small value and 4 still. And this one is between 4 and also a very small value. And this one is crushing my application. I guess I made it a half. If v is a half, then this becomes 0 again. That's also not allowed. So this, oh yeah, this definitely. Oops! Don't go over a half. This way, you can't reach. Can't reach a half. I'm mostly interested now in understanding if there is, if the min and max values are still. I mean, if you did put this, oh wait a minute, no, I get it. Yeah, well, no, I don't get it. I mean, if I just change W, then there are maximum values of S and V, as well as minimum values, and they're always the same. So if I do this, they change the minimum value and the maximum value of the slider. If then I change just this value, no, just this value, it can't go lower, it can go lower. I don't really understand why this doesn't go over 4. Or is it because, oh, they were both like that, yeah. VRX very fast. And if I go down, these go down. No, they go up. If I go up, these go down. So that changes the minimum value. So they don't change, but you see that the value changes. So the minimum value is changed. And if I go all the way up, then both are at the minimum value. And if I go all the way down, then both are at the maximum value. But this is now 0.1. And this is at a maximum value, but this one is not yet at the maximum value that I hard-coded in at the beginning. So if we move it even further up, then W goes down, making it less than 0.1, all the way down to 0.039. But now, these two maximum values, and I don't want to touch this, it doesn't look like it's the maximum value. Well, these two values belong to the lowest value of W, and of course, and these two belong to the minus 300. So it's logical that then if I put this one anywhere, that if I move this one down, to the minimum value, then that just belongs to those two being minimum, even though it's almost nothing. No, it doesn't. This one goes to 4. Oh, it's the other way around, yeah. So the lowest position of this belongs to the lowest position of that and the highest position of that. And the highest position is the other way around. So if I move all the way up, then W goes to the lowest position, which was 0.3 something, 003 something, 0391. Great. I understand why it doesn't push W beyond the minimum and maximum. And now the same holds for this one. If I move V to the lowest position, then we just get a 4 here and S there, because that's how they are linked. Or we crash. That's another possibility. I should not. Okay, I'm not really understanding that, I must say. Put this on a maximum. I'm not going over a half. This should not be a problem. Definitely not. I'm not allowed to reach a half, but I should be allowed to reach. Every pixel is so much. Okay, whatever. Maybe at the moment I clicked on it, it moved up to a half. You can click on it there. It went to 1.12. I really thought I clicked below the center. But well. It's still strange, by the way, because if it jumps to 1.12, then that's not a problem. It should be allowed to be 1.12. Then what we get is, oh no, now I see it. Yeah, that's not allowed either. If this becomes a negative, well, this is positive, and that is positive. This is length. This is kind of fixed. It's just this is always 0.987, etc. So if I make V negative, then S becomes imaginary. We can't draw that anymore. So V is not allowed to pass a half at all. It cannot not be equal to a half, because I would have to divide by 0 to find S squared, but it can also not be larger than a half, because then you have a negative value for the square. That's really weird though. Theoretically, there would be nothing wrong with having a negative V. Sorry, a negative V is even okay, but let alone less than a half. Why the hell is that suddenly not possible? Yeah, it seems like this has to be. That's interesting. So did not make this draggable. But V is the value of t such that we are in the vertex. And t is the parametric of the parameter of the parametric curve, which is 0 in P0 and 1 in P1. So t is negative here, t becomes closer to 0, t is 0 here, t is equal to v here, and t is equal to 1 here. So a value less than a half means this picture, because it's closer to v now than to P1. If it's in the middle, then v is a half. Or rather, you would have to draw P0 here and P1 here. So this just, you know, this is 0, this is 1, and then a half is the vertex. So if the vertex is closer to P0 than it is to P1, like it is being drawn here, then the value of v is less than a half. And I have absolutely no problem with that. Less than a half. Well, that's even positive. It shouldn't be larger than a half. And that's what I said. I'm an idiot. Yeah, okay, so this picture works. Okay, so the problem is it cannot be such that P0 is higher than P1. Ah, indeed, it cannot, because then this triangle here, then P0 moves through this Q point. So then you get the triangle up here. And I'm still working with the positive distance. So to fix that, I need to make this not the distance, but the projection of P0, P1 onto this, onto the y vector. It's not a distance. It's a number of y vectors that you have to go to from P0 to reach Q. So if P0 is on the other side, we have to subtract y vectors. Y is pointing like here, there's an arrow here. So if P0 is up here, we have to go back negative y's. So this value becomes negative in that case. So it's definitely possible. I should not treat it as a length. It must therefore be calculated as, this is just, this formula is, yeah, it's just, it's a dot product of P0, P1 projected on the Y. That's how I should calculate it. That's a mistake. So if I fix that, then after that I go eat. So minus this value is currently calculated as the length, but that's wrong. It should be P0 to Q dot Y. I'm not sure. Do I have Y already? Probably. I don't see a Y. Why do I not see a Y? You don't have a Y. You don't have a Y in this program. Oh. Let's see, this dot exists. Dot is just... Oh, it takes a direction vector? Wait a minute. This is direction dot direction. Oh, here's a vector. So I have a vector dot vector. And I think that my plot is a vector. I'm not sure though. Plot, yeah, must be. Where's my plot? Plot P0 P. Plot P0Q is returned from create connector. So that returns a connector, but the connector is derived from a line piece, which is not a vector. Oh. Seriously. I just have 2 points here. Maybe you can convert a vector, to convert a connector to a vector at least. Oh, this is how I do it. I just create a vector from the 2 points instead of a connector. then probably that's what we have to do. Might as well create it here then. Create a vector PQ, P0Q. From those 2 points. So this would be the vector from P0 to Q. And I still need my y. Now the dot, you know, P0Q is now a vector. And that takes a vector, but I hope I can, yeah, we can create a vector from direction. So that probably still works then, even though y is going to be a direction vector. And then I need to get my y from this program. Plot y. I don't make a y apparently. Just a plot y. Okay. It is a connector as well, dude. Okay, I guess this is the vector. No, this is a point. So we have these 2 points, V and V plus symmetry line. Then symmetry line itself is what I need. Symmetry line there. That's the normal of the thing that is perpendicular to the symmetry line direction, which is the QP1 direction. And QP1 is per definition perpendicular to the symmetry line. Good to know. Let's copy these 2 lines. Yeah. Bum bum. Where was I? Something with a dot. Oh, here. So I do the same thing here. Make a vector called P1Q. Create it from well, these 2 points. No, wait a minute. That has to be the other way around because I want it to be P1Q, right? Apparently. Might as well use this, I think. There's a minus and then you have the vector point the other way. And then I can make these perpendicular to symmetry line is then, and now suddenly I need QP1. What? That was good, honorable. QP1. Yep, okay. Now we have the symmetry line, and that is actually the direction then, which is y. So now this thing is a dot product, therefore it can become negative, which then is okay for the values larger than half. But it isn't. I mean, it's still not negative in the current picture because I leave Q where it is. This is just a result of where I have Q. So at the moment it's positive, and therefore at the moment it's not positive to make V larger than half. But I can move Q now to make it negative. That would be interesting. What is happening here? We don't have a Q. Nope. Fortunately, plot Q is derived from Q in terms of types. They are replaceable. So let's run this thing again. So now I have still a positive s squared times, this is just the same value. Why is that the case? Because y is pointing from the vertex. This is a parabola, more or less. Well, no, it's exactly parabola. So there is a vertex here somewhere, not necessarily where p beta is, but it looks like it. Anyway, the y is pointing that direction. Why? Because I was thinking about y equals x squared, which is a parabola that stands like so. And then the y-axis is up there, yeah. So the y-axis, this is a rotated one, but my capital Y is just pointing stubbornly in the direction as if this is y equals x squared. So y is here and x points that way. And then we have this vector, p0 to p1, and if we take the dot product with this one, well, they more or less point in the same direction. The dot product is like the projection. So this one projected onto that one is a positive length. And the only way to make that a negative length, actually, is by changing the relative position between the y and the p0, p1, which means that y has to point the other way. So we need a parabola that's like so, but it also has to go through p0 and p1. It will go to the... I'm afraid that we crash if I move something. Let me try this. So that's illegal. See, it's still positive. I was afraid of that. Man, it doesn't even change. I'm calculating it from Q. But, yeah, okay, sorry. This is just has nothing to do with... I'm doing two things at the same time. This curve is currently nothing to do with the sliders and Q. But okay, I could change this, and now the idea was I want to have at least an example, a parabola that shows something that would be negative, and then we can adjust Q to match the curve. And eventually I want to do that automatically, of course. Oh, this one is negative. So y is now pointing that way. And this is pointing that way. So we project that onto that one. We get something like this distance here, but then negative. Yeah, because y is pointing that way and p0 projected here is pointing that way towards p1. The projection of it points in the opposite direction. So what Q would belong to that? Like I said, which one was it? I think one of these two was, I think this one, yeah? As P1Q must be perpendicular to the symmetry line, which is a symmetry line of the parabola. So it must be like this, which means that it must be like that. So Q must be moved here. I think it's might be safe if I do it like this. Don't crash, don't crash. Yeah. So now the symmetry line is like this, and this one is perpendicular to it. Right. So now this Q corresponds to the curve that I made by dragging the P beta and the P comma. And then we see that, hopefully, it's negative. Ta-da! So now we have to do with a negative V, which now means that I should be able to make V larger than, well, this is positive. So V must be larger than a half. And this isn't. It's totally not. I think I changed Q, but not the sliders didn't get updated. So probably save a change W. Yep, there are gems. Larger than a half. So I have to also update the sliders when I change Q. Then we would have seen that happen immediately. But I'm going to eat first. But yeah, I'm glad it worked out. It's now larger than a half. And with this position, therefore, aka negative this, we should not even be able anymore to make V less than a half. Sorry, if I try that. Oh, 12, yeah, very close to a half, but not smaller. That's very big again. Ooh, 0.501. Yeah, but can't get any less than that. And if I force it to be less, then we crash again. Crash. And that's good time to go eat. Nishal, hello. Nishal Acharia. People are so difficult names. Can't even pronounce them. I'm gonna be back in, I don't know, a few hours. Maybe less. Maybe I have to do shopping actually. As well, yeah. Okay.